What's up guys, I am here at Moscow's Domodedovo International Airport. Today I'm heading to St Petersburg with Russia's largest domestic airline, S7 Airlines. I'm actually walking past their headquarters at Domodedovo right now. S7 have a fleet of just under 100 narrow-body aircraft, and their route network extends from as far as Madrid in the west all the way over to Tokyo in the east. It's an incredibly sized route network that they have. So now it's time to head into the terminal, grab a coffee and try out S7 Airlines on their route to St Petersburg, Russia.
Although I checked in for my flight with S7 Airlines, in Russia you can't actually use your mobile boarding pass or your home printed boarding pass to get on board the aircraft. Instead, you have to head to a boarding pass printer inside the terminal, scan your mobile boarding pass or your home printed one and get a proper boarding pass printed out here. It's a really convoluted way of working, and if I'm honest, I really hope that it isn't long before Russia embraces technology like the rest of the world and allows people to check in using their mobile phone or even a home printed boarding pass. After security, I headed through to the S7 Airlines Economy Comfort Lounge. This lounge is usually only available to business class passengers with S7, however on the short flights between Moscow and St Petersburg there is no business class on the aircraft. Therefore I got into the lounge using my Priority Pass membership. The great thing about this is that it doesn't matter which class of travel you're flying in, just like me today with S7 Airlines. You can get access to over 1,200 lounges all around the world for a small annual fee. Check out the link in the description below, which will give you a 10% discount off of a membership with Priority Pass. The S7 lounge here is pretty compact, but it does have a really nice range of food and drink that was able to keep me occupied ahead of my flight. There's some really comfortable seating areas too, and plenty of power sockets to keep all of my devices charged. I have to admit that I probably enjoyed the lounge here for a little bit too long, because it wasn't long before my flight was called for boarding. On reaching the gate I found that I was one of the last passengers here, which is something that doesn't happen to me very often. Once again, the bus here was absolutely packed and I struggled to find a space on board the bus. This is something that I found really frustrating during my time in Russia. It didn't matter where you were standing on the bus, as soon as the bus pulled up to the plane, everybody rushed out and barged you out the way to try and get onto the aircraft first. I'm not sure if this is a cultural thing or just me being a little bit sensitive, but to be honest, I found this everywhere I went in Russia, and as a guy who's normally quite passive, this was a little bit intimidating to me. On boarding the aircraft I found the cabin crew really friendly. The cabin was quite smart and modern, and the seats are all pretty comfortable too. S7 Airlines were originally called Sibir Airlines. They were based over at Novosibirsk in eastern Russia, and the airline code was S7, hence their new name S7 Airlines. They previously operated a fleet that included Tupolev 154s and Tu-134s too, but sadly these days the fleet is mostly Airbus aircraft. These days they operate a fleet of 95 aircraft, of which more than half of them are from the Airbus family. And they were also the Russian launch customer for the Airbus A319neo, of which they've got 9 in the fleet at the moment, with another 8 on order. In addition to the Airbus aircraft, they operate Boeing 737-800s and MAX 8 aircraft, and a fleet of Embraer E170s for the shorter routes. So we were on our way to St Petersburg. We made a sharp right turn after takeoff to fly over the city of Moscow before turning northwest on pretty much a direct path to St Petersburg in the northwest of Russia. Flight time today was 1 hour 13 minutes at a cruising altitude of 34,000 feet. Our ride up to St Petersburg today was on a 19-year-old Airbus A319. It was originally delivered in 1999 to Northwest Airlines in the USA and was delivered to S7 Airlines in 2006. The seats were really comfortable for such a short flight. The legroom was a little bit tight, but to be honest that's always the case when you're 6'4" tall. The in-flight service started not long after takeoff from Moscow. For the short flight up to St Petersburg today we were given a choice of tea or coffee and then a snack in the form of a sandwich. It wasn't a great deal of food, but to be honest it was much nicer than the meal that I'd had on my previous flights with the Javier Airlines. It was at least edible, which is a good bonus. There isn't any onboard entertainment on these aircraft, nor is there Wi-Fi either, so I opted to watch some offline content on Netflix. I sat and watched a program that I've been really getting into lately. S7's in-flight magazine is simply called S7. Inside it gives a really good overview of the sheer size of the route network of S7 Airlines. As I mentioned earlier in this video, it expands from Madrid in the west in Spain right the way over to Japan in the east, all using narrow-body short-haul aircraft. It's one heck of a size route network that expands over almost half of the globe. The sun got lower in the sky as we headed further north into Russia. We soon began our approach into a very snowy St Petersburg. The low sun in the northern sky led to a beautiful wintry scene, straight from the front of a Christmas card. The major player here at St Petersburg is Russia Airlines, which is an airline that I'll be featuring next time in in-flight video. Be sure to check that video out. Today's flight cost me 3,600 Russian rubles, which is about 42 British pounds or 54 US dollars. This is for a flight of 415 miles, making a cost of 9 pence or 11 US cents per mile. S7 are a member of oneworld, which meant I was able to credit a flat 125 miles to my British Airways Executive Club account. I was really pleased with S7 Airlines. I expected them to be like a low-cost carrier, probably because of their bright green livery, but their onboard service was anything but low cost, and a snack and a drink on a 1-hour flight is better than you get with many of the major European airlines. The flight was cheap, the service was good, and I look forward to flying with S7 again somewhere on their huge network of flights. Let me know what you think of S7 Airlines in the comments section below. Thanks for watching my review of S7 Airlines, take care, and I'll see you next time here on In-Flight Video.